Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be decorating this card album that I made. I will put a link in the description box below to the video that shows how I made this album. I'm decorating this album using my design team supplies from Kraft Supplies for You. The album has 5 internal pages and each of those pages has a pocket. I'm going to start with the front cover. I've got one of these Jolie stickers. I'm going to add some glue to each of those bigger dobs and then attach that to the front right hand edge. Now I'm going to use my hot glue gun to attach this piece of lace to the left hand side of the cover. I'm going to leave about ½ an inch from the edge. I'm going to use a little dab of hot glue behind each one of these little gem flowers and attach that so that it partly overlaps the lace and runs down the edge of the album. I've got an assortment of these mesh or net flowers and I decided to go with the pink and blue one. I'm going to attach that with some hot glue to the bottom left section of the cover. I used my uniquely creative die called Little Leaves to cut some leaves from some green paper, and I'm going to just attach those in behind my flower. I'm going to attach 3 leaves. I had some clear glass bubbles in my kit and I heat embossed the back of the bubble with some blue embossing powder, and I am now attaching those in amongst my cluster. I've done 3 of them and I will attach them using my hot glue gun. I got a Hero Arts stamp, rubber stamp in my kit, so I'm going to use that to do all of my embellishing. To start with, I'm going to stamp these 3. There's a flower, a butterfly and a journaling spot. I'm going to stamp them with embossing powder and I'm going to heat emboss them with black embossing powder, and I'm going to make about 10 of them. Once I'd finished stamping and embossing, I fussy cut all of them. I wanted to colour them, so I used a mixture of distress inks and oxide inks and my water brush, and I just chose colours that were in the cards that I used to create the album, and I went through and coloured all of those items that I had fussy cut. I chose a light and a dark shade of each of the colours, and that enabled me to do some shading on each of the embellishments. Nothing too fancy, just something so that there was a variance and a bit of dimension. I created an even number of each design because I wanted to put one on the front and one on the back of a tag. The packet of cards that I made the album out of has got 12 cards in it, and I ran out of cards to make my pockets inside of my album, so I had to go and buy another pack, and this is what the pack looks like that I purchased. So I laid out my 5 tags and I went ahead and decided or chose colours that would go together for each of my tags. Now I'm going to attach each of those embellishments to the top of each tag. I used my art glitter glue. I put glue on the back of both elements and then put one on one side and one on the other and try and match up the pattern as best I can at the top where they actually stick out above the top of the tag. I then ink around the edge of the embellishment just to hide any of the white that might be showing where the embellishment doesn't line up perfectly. I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the other 4 tags, but I'll do that off camera. So each of those tags can now be put inside their little pocket. I really like the way the embellishment on the top, or the thing that you hang on to pull the tag out, sticks out above the book. I think it looks really nice. I'm going to start embellishing the pages now. I take one of the new cards that I purchased and I cut a piece that is 2 inches wide by the length of the card. I use double-sided tape to stick around 3 edges of that and then attach it to the inside cover of the book. I did that here, and then later on I have a change of heart and I end up taking this particular pocket off, but I'll show you how I did it here to start with. I used some of this Jolie sticker that I used on the front cover along the right hand edge of the right hand page. I stuck that down with some glue. I was going to do something on both pages, but then I quickly realised that the thickness of the album would be way over the top if I did that, so this particular page is the only one that gets something like that on the right hand page. I used my StazOn ink and the flower stamp to stamp onto the right hand page down the bottom. This is another thing that changes. This first page was a bit of trial and error, and I did this and then went away and did something else, and when I came back a few hours later I had a complete change of heart about the whole thing really. So all of this is going to change. I also stuck a little butterfly that I had left over from the tags onto the little pocket that I had attached to the inside front cover. Once again, that pocket's going to come off, so that butterfly's going to be gone as well. I cut this yellow card in half, so that it was 2 pieces, cut it on the fold, and then I cut it so that it was 3 3/4 inches wide and about 3 inches deep. So I cut it in half along the long section and then cut that section to 3 3/4 inches wide. I didn't want to leave it the same width that it was because it would foul on my binding, so I trimmed it down. Ended up with a pocket that was about 3 inches high by 3 3/4 inches wide. I also cut a piece of lace that was 3 3/4 inches long, the same as the width of the pocket, and I stitched that to the top of the pocket. I then used double-sided tape along the 2 sides and along the bottom of the pocket and attached that to my card or my book. I used my bone folder to burnish the pocket onto the page really well. I then attached one of the little butterflies on top of the lace. I cut a piece of card offcut so that it was the same width as the card and about 3/4 of an inch wide, and I attached that to the bottom section of the pocket. I ran out of embellishments at this stage, so I took my stamp set, my Hero Art stamp set, and stamped out a whole heap using my Stays On jet black ink, and I'm going to do the same thing with the coloured inks and my water brush to colour them all, and I'm going to use those for embellishments on my album. So this is where my ideas changed. I decided to go for alternate pages. On the first page would be a long pocket down the edge of the page, and the next page would have a pocket along the bottom like this page here, and the facing page would have no pocket, but it would have some sort of embellishment on it from my collection that I had just painted. Each of the pockets will have a row of lace either along the top or down the side. Each pocket will have a tag that is 3 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches tall, with a piece of crochet cotton threaded through the hole at the top. Some are made from white cardstock and some are made from actual card pieces. Off camera, I've gone ahead and created all of my parts, and now I'm going to attach them to the album. The pockets I have stitched the lace on using my sewing machine, so now I'm just going to attach that to the page. You can see this is where I've torn that first pocket off that I put in that didn't have any lace on it, and I'm going to attach this pocket now with the lace, and then I'm going to attach those coloured images over the top of the stamped images that I had put on the page previously. I'm going to put the video on fast forward and work my way through the album with the same recipe. So one long pocket, one side pocket, one long pocket, one short pocket, and an embellishment on the facing page. I have a few of the embellishments left over, so I decided to add some more to the front cover. I cut the bottom off of this blue journaling spot and pop that in behind my flower, and then I add this yellow butterfly just off to the right from the journaling spot, sort of covering over part of that leaf. I still had a few of my embellishments left over, so I just had a look through my album and worked out where I could use them. So that completes my little album decoration. I am going to do a slow walkthrough now. Well, it's double time, so it won't take too long. Just showing you what it ended up looking like. I'm quite happy with it. There's plenty of room in there for photos and journaling and all sorts of things. So if you have looked at this video and you think you would like to give it a go, I'm sure you will love your finished item. Once again, this is for Kraft Supplies for You. I will put a link to them in the description box, and I will also put a link to the Heidi Swapp video that I watched before I created this. So you can pop over and have a look at that one too if you like. Thank you for watching my video today. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I've certainly enjoyed creating it. I did change my mind sort of halfway through, but I guess that's half the fun when you're doing things like this. So if you're not already a subscriber, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and perhaps leave me a comment and a thumbs up. That would be great. So I hope I'll see you when I have my next video published. Thank you.